Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. Welcome to the MNmaxed podcast. We want to thank you for joining us, and you do so as we continue Bloodlords. As always, we'd like to invite you to come join our Discord ring and hang out with us and other listeners of the show. And if you'd like to throw a little financial support our way, you can check out our Patreon. And a shout out to all of those at our Lich level and above. Rock Jedi, Wolf, Barnabas Slump, Thunder Mammoth, The Trevor Project, Toss Chris, Fizzgig, AC Goldner, Eric R. Ope just gonna sneak right past you there. Indie Link, Dodgy Monster, Mercutio, Angel Shadowheart, Cyrendon, The Necromancer Forever, Doc Holiday, Corey, Robert T, Scraptier, Ted, Jason K, Dicky Lopez, Bobson Dugnut, Rickety Ropebridge, Alex K, Doma El Laka, Frank L, Just Mike Works, Ross D, Argoon's Long Lost Elbow, Figtier, Zach S, Jamie H, Mr. Turtle, Sleeve, Darren, Caleb W, Pickle, Mr. Grim, Firedown, M54 Ewas, Jameson S, Eric R, plus 24/7 of Whacking, I'm Not a Robot, George F, Leo Hard, Har, Witch Hunter, Jeremy D, Matthew M, Scott E, Progeny of Kukulin, Liz Giggles, Calistria Specialty, Brandon K, Grigus Maximus, Andrew G, Eben Flames, Booming Thunder, Henry, A School of Fish, Ice and Jam, and Chris W. Thank you all so much for your support. And now a recap of session 62. We've rocked up to the Greenblades camp at night, ready to kill them all. Things get started kind of slowly. We take out one sentry and damage a bunch of enemies as Shara gets missed by arrows, and everyone starts to get into position. Things take a scary turn for the sinners as a bunch of damage flies out fast. With the advantage of funneling them, fireball, and getting out of line of sight of the archers, and some timely heals, we turn the tide and break them down bit by bit. Finally, Shara pulls out her scythe and cuts down the rhino. The four remaining archers flee, and we prepare to chase them down most horrifically.
What if I told you they ran in 4 different directions? There's 4 archers left, and they all went.
4 of us.
I assume the one that was still up on the ridge will probably get away.
No, I'll go for him.
Okay. I'm going to go after the 3, see if I can hit him with a fireball or whatever. I still got a couple more rounds on this.
You just said that they're going to run in opposite directions, so you're not going to be able to fireball
I suppose
more than one of them at a time.
All right. I'll go after one of them. Maybe.
Can we not?
Yeah, all right. I won't. Fine.
We definitely don't have to play it out. You're definitely at the point where you will defeat them. We're gonna hand wave that chase and turn it into the listeners at home, just picture in your mind the sinners chasing down 4 terrified humans, living humans, out into the Field of Maidens, zigzagging in and out through all of the petrified statues, and they eventually obviously meeting their grisly demise.
Feed on one of them. Most horrifically.
You feed on one?
Yeah, I drink their blood.
At first I thought you said feet. I was like, what do you mean you feed on them?
What are you going to do with your feet?
I'll kill them and put my feet on them. Like, is that a thing now? Like, it's just like a power move? Like, you kill them and just step on them?
Okay. So if we're going to hand wave all that,
Yeah.
then we can loot and heal.
Okay, so I think this is, we'll drop out of combat. You basically have, obviously, full roam of the camp. There's not a ton here. Obviously, you have the soldiers' tents, which each are filled with simple bedrolls, a few changes of clothing, and some small personal affectations. You do find that one of them is holding a Greater Cheetah's elixir in their tent, which, it's you not using a potion when you should have situations. There is a supply tent, and in the supply tent, you find an ingot of refined sister stone. Dusk sister stone. I'm not sure you actually want to pick up the sister stone.
Cause it's all holy and shit. I eat it.
Is it a magic item, or is it just like a material?
It's a material, and it's actually refined stone that is made from this field. Sister stone is a term used for 2 closely related ores infused by the spiritual runoff in the Field of Maidens. Dusk sister stone and scarlet sister stone. They have the same physical properties except for color. Dusk Sister Stone, which is a pale orange, and the Scarlet is an orange-red. When you're near an object made of the other type of Sister Stone, they both begin exuding spiritual energy that repels undead.
Kix probably wants that.
They kind of create a reciprocal field when the Dusk and the Scarlet Sister Stone are within 15 feet of each other, and any undead that are in there become enfeebled.
Kix is just like running around after us with it. Like,
Get back!
Like a little kid, like holding a gross toad or something. No, stay away! Stay away!
I think Kix does that with Garlic and Lucan right now. Just running around the theater.
You bastard.
I don't think he's that ballsy. Now, this is just the Dusk Sister Stone. It is not also the Scarlet. So you'd have to either mine or gather the Scarlet Sister Stone. So this doesn't necessarily repel you. However, it is worth 200 gold.
we'll take it.
Yeah. Kix can carry it.
And finally, the bodies that are here.
We'll have +1 weapons, or +1 striking weapons, and +1 resilient armor, and...
So they all have +1 guy's arms.
+1 or +1 striking?
Just +1. That's 10 +1 guy's arms.
About 30 gold apiece.
A lot of
A
money.
lot of
35
dudes' arms.
35 gold apiece.
It's 350, 175 gold.
I mean, we could camp here and just take all those runes off the weapons.
That's a lot of weight, though. Our bag of holding even handle that shit?
That's a day per weapon.
Is
It's
it
like
really?
8 hours to take it off.
Damn.
Yeah, you're starting to get to the point where you really can't.
For 35 gold, it's not worth it. If it was +1 striking, maybe. But
Skip the guy's arms.
yeah, I think we have to. They're
Guess so.
too heavy.
I think
Okay.
so, yeah.
The Rhino has a +1 striking wounding greatsword.
I would love to put that wounding rune onto my
Hand wraps.
hand wraps for Sundrinker. I just really like the idea of Sundrinker lashing people open and making them bleed.
Inside the stable, as you walk in, making your rounds.
I'm assuming everything else is gone. We don't need to worry about healing up before.
Right,
we do
yeah.
this, or do we
I'd
need
be
to-
kind of off guard now after we kill those people.
Yeah. As you enter the stables, you come across the person you met the other day at camp. The one that has the bits of scales and the tail.
Loot the tail.
They
Shimmer. Let's call him Shimmer. I'm gonna call them Shimmer from now on.
they are cowering in the corner. And as you open the door, you can hear them sniffling.
Cowering and sniffling. Oh. Oh, why, hello there, darling.
You killed them all, didn't you?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes, of course we did.
They were your captors, right?
No. They were my friends.
Oh. That's not good for you.
Why didn't you help your friends? You just let them all die? Fucking loser.
You're right. And she's just sobbing.
Can I kill her?
Take me. Take me.
Yeah, I wanna. Yeah, I'll you can kill her. I'll clamp onto her neck and then you can stab her if you want while I'm doing that.
I decapitate her and Lucan.
There's two necks lined up right next to each other. It's just opportunity.
You gave me a perfect opportunity. 2 for 1, man.
Double kill.
Killtacular.
So you stab through.
And yeah, sure, it doesn't stop him.
Zayla actually had a +1 great axe.
She used that really well.
Yep, definitely.
But again, it's just a +1. It's not a striking or anything. So
The other thing that's in here, hanging on the hooks on the northern wall of the stable, is a light barding that is covered in stylized wind motifs. It is magical.
Now that's cool.
Barding of the Zephyr.
Yes.
Wait, does it let you
Let's hear more
fly?
about this barding.
That would be so amazing.
So basically, it's a constant feather fall. And once per day, you can grant your companion the fly speed of 30 feet for 10 minutes. And
Oh, that's fine on
regardless...
Perdition, sorry.
Yeah, I could still fly while being ridden, it says. Regardless of whether it has the mount special ability or not. Which it does, but yeah. Look, Perdition, you got some new barding. Or they're worth 900 gold.
Nope, it's not.
Yeah, definitely put that on Perdition.
Wait, how much gold?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Nine gold.
900?
9 gold. 900 copper. It was 900 copper.
Nine.
It's fine. I feel like Jared needs some good loot.
Barding of the Zephyr. I mean, the fly speed for 10 minutes is pretty
That's
sweet.
amazing.
With the flying skeletal mount.
This is so badass.
That is all of the loot in this place.
I think this looks like a good place to camp for the night. Or day.
Oh, actually, all of the archers have +1 striking composite longbows.
We're taking those.
There were 6 archers.
That's worth money.
If we have to, we'll strap them to Perdition.
Just tie them to her ribs.
Do I find any, like... Well, I don't need alcohol. I'm very satiated with blood. There was so much blood.
There was a lot of blood in the camp, let's be honest.
To the part, like... Lizard Lady, did she taste a little bit reptile-y?
The blood was colder than you're used to.
Interesting. Refreshing.
It was kind of, yeah, it was like a chilled red wine.
I liked it. Yeah. It's very good.
Slightly sweet.
I take some more. If I fill up some... I go find a tankard or glass somewhere, fill it up. I'll go sit by one of these fires in one of these camps and just relax. That was a lot of stress. It's time to just relax and have a nice cup of reptile person blood.
Ganzi blood. Oh, that's good shit. So, upon resting among the carnage, and you're not sleeping with the carnage, but you didn't exactly do anything to clean it up.
There was no carnage in this big tent.
No, not in the big tent. You're right. You bed down for the evening. Well, day. Anyways. 2 things happen. First thing that happens is Lucan, in his dreamless sleep, receives a message.
Oh, really?
It's a dream message. The image of Corinza, the snake-haired Medusa, who said that we'd meet you after dealing with the Holomog threat. The message is, thank you, Lucan, for all that you've done to stop the thieves from taking my friends away. I'm going to speak directions to my house. Meet me there at your earliest convenience. And then she gives directions to her home.
All right. I try to remember them when I wake up.
You forget, like every other dream you've ever had.
For some reason, I imagine a vampire's sleep to be dreamless. I don't know why, that's just what I imagine.
I mean, that makes sense, because dreams are like a manifestation of the electrical signals doing weird things in your brain.
Yeah.
So if you're dead and you don't have that, you probably don't dream unless the magic is replicating that in some way. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's magic.
Now we're just making shit up.
We're just making shit up.
Well, yeah, it's all made up.
Don't we do that every session?
Let's say,
Yeah.
You'd say the necrotic energy within you does the same thing, but
You could say that.
You could, but would you?
or you could not, which whatever. You know.
Lucan isn't the only one who has a dream. Shara, in the night, you receive a vision.
Dead of the night.
It starts off with a black landscape. Your vision is rushing past a field of darkened maidens. Landscape you've been crossing now for days. And it quickly approaches a lake with a dead tree. And that hollowed out tree, you see a pair of eyes peering out from within the black interior. As your approach to the tree slows, this long, impossibly long, purple tongue stretches from the tree and wraps itself around Shara's waist. After a moment of silence and stillness, she's pulled into the darkness, and the vision is enveloped as Shara rushes into the tree. She doesn't struggle or fight. In the dream, she doesn't know exactly how, but she knows that 6 days and nights have passed in the dream before she emerges from the tree. And just as Shara emerges from the tree in her dream, she wakes up. So, you all really get to sleep through the entire day here. So the next day is very out there on how you want to handle it. Why don't you go ahead and talk amongst yourselves on the next plans?
Lucan would sleep late, wake up, be disgusted by his dirty clothes, strip and cast prestidigitation on everything. Been too long in this desert. Get redressed and lazily go find Kix and see if Kix will put this wounding rune onto my hand wraps and suggest that maybe we just rest here for the night, gather ourselves. In the day, while we were sleeping, I received, I guess, a message from the Medusa. She let me know where we need to go to meet her, but no set time frame. I suggest we rest here a day.
You had a dream last night also. I had one that sounds weird, strange.
Oh? Was it a message? What happened?
I believe it was a message, but I can only assume it was from the Pallid Princess. I believe I am to return to the ghast's tree and go inside.
The ghast tree? Strange. Shall we accompany you?
It is some distance away, so I will probably need assistance, or at least it would be helpful to have the accompaniment of everybody.
Well, very well. Do you wish to leave right away, or can we take a day, a night?
Well, it does not seem to be necessarily a rush,
Oh, very well.
but it does have the feeling that it would take a week or so
Oh,
while we are there, while I am inside.
a week. Shall we do this before or after we go see the Medusa?
I feel like I would rather do it sooner than later.
Well, all right. The Medusa certainly placed no time frame. We've done what she wished. Now we just need to go meet her to receive what we wished.
Perhaps it is even something you could do during that time, depending on what it is, how far away.
So you feel called to go into the Warren of the Ghasts for a week?
It is strange, but yes.
Well, it's not for me to disagree with the visions the gods send to their champions.
My thoughts exactly.
I still suggest we rest a day here. I'd like this rune to be placed on these hand wraps. Kix, I will compensate you, of course.
Nice compensate.
Look, I'll even dig into my memories and see if I can cook you a good lunch. I did the cooking in my household. I think I can manage it.
Lucan's just gonna go get some strips of flesh off of a dead guy and
I'm just gonna see what's yeah.
This looks like it'll be good.
I'm just gonna see what's around, see what's in this camp, see what I can put together. I put a foot on your plate with an apple, and I say, I call this one fruit by the foot.
Gross. I don't want it.
So yeah, we're gonna take a day, move that rune, relax. I'll cook Kix a meal in thanks, and everybody, and then the next night we'll head on over to the gas warren.
So go ahead and make your crafting check on the rune movement, if you don't mind. Kix?
Sure, dude. 39. I improve it to a wounding 2.
That is not how that works, but you do a very good job, obviously. The
Move the coins.
wounding rune has been applied.
Love that.
The day passes. How do Shara, or the night passes, how do Shara and Arius spend their time?
Bone pile?
You make one?
Collapse.
Just collapse.
Yeah. Do you like boil the? Do you boil the flesh off of all of the and bone or skin and everything
Corpses.
off of the corpses to get more bones?
Sure, that sounds evil and kind of fucked up. I'll do that.
All right. What about Shara?
Shara spends the time contemplating the dream and what exactly it would mean.
Okay, so that day passes. Everything's peachy. Nothing occurs to you during the day. There really aren't any of the stone maidens in the area, so you don't have anything to come alive around you or be concerned with, because, well, you killed everybody. So, next night come and goes. Shara, you have the dream again, except for there's urgency tied to it this time.
Okay. Then that next morning or that next evening,
Dusk.
yeah, when we wake up, it's a good thing that we'd already decided to go soon, because I had the same dream as I did the night before, but this one was much more urgent.
Oh, very well. Let us away then.
Then the next beginning of the next evening, you begin your way from the ridge camp to the dead tree, the ghoul warren, and it takes you the majority of the evening to make the travel. And when you get there, you don't see any eyes waiting for you. You don't see the lolling, long purple tongue that you did in your dreams, Shara, but the tree is there. What do you do?
I approach it and confidently enter the tree.
As you enter the tree, it goes down sharply. As you make your way down this steep, dark, and damp tree hollow, you begin to hear snarling and seething. And you hear a voice that you remember from your encounter here earlier. It's Yothruk, the Ghast.
Welcome back. Why are you here?
I have received a vision from the Pallid Princess to come here. I saw eyes and a long tongue pulling me into the tree. And then I was here for what felt like 6 days. And then I woke up.
Your flesh is still alive.
My flesh, yes. While I have technically died once, I am still a living creature.
You won't be able to keep the Warrens off of you. If you stay that long, we may need to be satiated, lest we consume you entirely. Unless you think this is the princess's wish.
I do not believe her wishes for me to be killed, because I did exit the Warren.
I see. I am no seer. I do not read tarot decks or fortunes. But, if I may...
And he holds his hand out, gesturing towards your arm.
I will raise it.
Yothruk pulls the gauntlet off of your hand and hungrily sinks his teeth into your forearm and rips off a chunk of meat. And you can see and hear the ghouls all around are seething and slavering.
Food.
And they're just moments from pouncing on you. And Yothruk pulls back after eating the strip of flesh.
Have you produced dead flesh? Have you dispatched the living that were here?
Yes. All living, as far as I know, in this area, other than Kix, is no longer alive.
How long dead?
Well, the camp closest is probably 5 or 6 days, but other camp to the northwest would be 2 days at most.
A feast then. Closer. Desperate. Ghouls, follow.
And he rushes past you, and this wave of clammy dead skin and slavering ghouls rushes past you. The rest of you see the dead tree erupt with ghouls as they exit the warren and scramble to the east.
Well, hopefully Arius didn't clean all the bones off. Or they're going to be pissed.
So they're headed to the salt camp. He didn't do that at the salt camp. Salt mines.
Oh, the closer one? Okay. Yeah, no.
That's the closer one.
That one was a little bit older, though.
Correct.
I don't think they care.
At this point,
Apparently
they
not
don't.
at this point.
They're fucking starving.
So, Cheryl will exit the tree. Well, hasn't been 6 days, but I don't know. I feel like this is what was supposed to happen.
Quite a nasty looking wound on your arm. Unless you cover it back up with your gauntlet.
No, I would have covered it back up.
Never mind. Well, did you learn anything?
The ghouls are hungry.
The ghouls are always hungry. I assume they rushed off to one of the camps that you told them about, where there would be a lot of dead flesh.
Yes, I do believe they went to the salt camp. That was the direction they ran.
That was very kind of you. Perhaps that's what Agatha wanted, for you to direct her creatures towards a meal.
Whichever it was, we are able to proceed now.
Well, that took far less time than expected. Very well then. I believe I have the directions to the Medusas in my head. We'll see how that goes.
Shara, you feel something hot coursing through your arm. The pain was easy to take. You've taken worse, that's for certain. And stitching that flesh up is never so unbearable. But this heat travels up your arm, and you can feel your body almost making a decision. You can fight this, or you can give in to it. Do you roll a fortitude save or not?
I 100% feel like this is sent from the Pallid Princess, so I do not fight it. I assume that whatever is going on was meant to is meant to happen.
Okay. You go straight to stage 2 of Ghast Fever. You regain half as many hit points from all healing.
Oh, okay. So Shara is gonna put the comma away and pull out the scythe and use that whenever she's walking, because she's not feeling 100%, but she doesn't really want to tell anybody. Just trying to not show any weakness.
All right. So, Lucan has the directions in his brain.
I follow him at night.
Yay, brain directions.
It didn't take long at the dead tree, but it took all your time traveling here, so sunlight or daybreak will be soon.
All right, we'll make camp. You want a survival check?
Actually, don't need one.
I got a 34.
Oh, good. You find a really nice camp. It's inside of a dead tree. Pre-established, even. It smells a little bit, but
It's completely empty.
it's completely empty. During your rest that day, Sherry, you're visited by another vision. You don't sweat, but the pain that's spreading up through your arm is going into your chest. In your dreams, you are in the dark. You feel as though you're inside of that tree right now. Except for you're not in the camp. You're alone and in the dark inside the hollow. It's not as spacious as the space where you're actually in. It's dark and enclosed, almost as though it's constricting you a little. Do you fight the constriction?
It feels like I'm being like squished or just
Like squeezed.
or like maybe I'm in a small space and I'm a little claustrophobic feeling or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's the claustrophobic feeling, and it's dark, and you can't move your limbs, and there's just hot pain and a slight pang of hunger.
Shara will say a prayer to Urgathoa, like, basically just like, I hope this is what you want, because she's not going to fight it, but she's starting to get a little worried about her choices.
Do you roll a fortitude save or not?
No.
Then at the next dusk, as you awake, you are in stage 4 of ghast fever.
Okay. Do I take some more damage?
What damage? You take 3d8 negative damage?
Oh. Okay. Nope.
No,
don't need to worry
the
about
damage
that.
you had was strictly from the jaws.
The 28 damage I did take, do I heal that overnight?
You do not. Do you say anything when you awake the next day? Dusk?
Nope.
Well, Lucan has the directions in his head. You travel on. It's going to take about a day and a half of travel to get there. So you'll have to make camp one more night and arrive halfway through the evening the next night. On this evening's rest, or this day's rest, Shara, you have a dream. This one's different than the others. This one, you're in a graveyard. Low fog and mist shrouds the actual grounds itself, and you just see tombstones poking out of the fog. Almost makes it look like you're in the sky. There's so much of it. Then you hear a voice.
So desperate. So eager.
Shara looks around for where the voice is coming from. Does she see anything?
You don't see anything. Tombstones as far as the eye can see.
Can I move? Like, can I walk through the tombstones in the mist?
Yeah.
Or
Absolutely. Rows upon rows. They're all different shapes, holding symbols from different faiths. Not just good faiths. You see Serenre, Desna's butterfly, Iore's hand. You also see Asmodeus's star. And you see Norgorber's mask placed at some of these. All different deities of all different varieties. You don't see the Death Head's moth. You don't see Urgathoa's symbol anywhere in the tombstone field.
Shara will think to herself, like, of course not. They're all undead.
As you walk, you hear the voice again.
You're on the tail of something big. Something I want you involved in.
Ah, so it is you. I assumed, but for a moment I was worried.
Would you create for me?
Yes, I would do whatever you require.
How desperate is your hunger?
To please you, it is everything.
The ground shakes a little bit beneath you. First you think it might be an earthquake of some kind, but then you realize that it is all of the graves that you've been walking by and have been among begin to stir as hands and bodies climb out from underneath the billowing fog. And all kinds of bodies come out. Zombies, ghouls, ghasts. You see different shapes. You see it's goblin zombies, minotaur zombies. There are skeletons, all manner of undead. But the most prominent among them are ghouls and ghasts. And when they emerge from the ground, they perch on their tombstones and look at you pointedly. And then you hear the voice again before everything goes dark.
Then create more children for me.
I will create you an army.
You awake, and in the violet light of dusk, you find yourself hungry. Ravenously so. We've reached a point that I can now ask the party what their level 10 looks like, because a little divine intercession just happened there. Well, I will leave you all to contemplate what just happened to Shara. Let's have Lucan or Arius or Kix. Let's see what your level 10s look like.
Well, sure. So, level 10, of course, you get ability boost, which is always great, but, that's self-explanatory. Class feat, I get to take shrink down now, which will allow me to adjust Sundrinker's size, so them being large in a constrained area isn't going to be an issue. They can go all the way down to small if I want them to.
Nice.
For my free archetype feat, I took Turn to Mist, which is a level 10 vampire dedication feat. Once a day, I get to cast Gaseous Form. And for my skill feat, I took Discreet Inquiry, which is a level 2 deception or diplomacy feat, where you have to be expert.
Does that gaseous form, does that allow you to, move in sunlight, or is that still just a...
I didn't think of it that way. Probably not. I don't think I could be in sunlight, even in gaseous form, but I didn't think about it. I more saw it as like an escape option. Let me read gaseous form.
It might not be long enough that it wouldn't make even a difference, if it's only a few minutes or something.
It's a 5-minute spell.
Oh, they call it vapor form now.
Vapor form.
Can slip through tiny cracks. Fly speed of 10 feet kind of sucks, though.
Yeah, it's slow, but that's all right. It's not meant for travel.
Yeah, it's definitely the oh shit button.
Or the sneaky button. God, I remember, I don't know if you were there for that campaign, Swanee. I think you might have been. I was running a campaign where I made this creature where I wanted him to not have any chance at all of killing him. I made him over-leveled, really powerful, and one of the characters was a vampire, and he turned into mist to sneak into the guy's tent while he was sleeping and use some powerful magic item and then use the coup de grace rules to kill him while he was sleeping. and he did. And it was very annoying.
If he was high enough level, he should have been able to survive the coup de grace.
It was just enough. You still had to make a fortitude save.
Yeah, you still have to make a fortitude save, which is based on the damage, yeah. If they did enough, it can certainly...
Yeah, it was enough.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm very familiar with that annoyance that you just described.
I was like, I'm going to make one boss here that they're not going to be able to fight their way out of. No, they did.
And they did.
Anyway, that's my level 10.
All right. After Lucan, Kick, Sarah, Arius, who wants to go first?
I'll go quick. Arius, level 10. My class feat, I picked up Replenishment of War. The cleric feat. Whenever I strike an enemy with my deity's favored weapon, I gain temporary hit points equal to half my level or my entire level if it's a crit.
Nice.
And they last until the start of my next turn, so that's kind of cool. Whenever I hit an enemy, I just get 10 HP. Skill feat, I took Battle Cry. Swanee's already been using that. I have it as well now. And then free archetype feat, I picked up Advanced Maneuver, which gives me access to higher level fighter feats. I still picked a low level one. I picked Sudden Charge. Just seemed useful. A gap closer.
So now you can magically charge and non-magically
Correct.
charge?
And oddly enough, my non-magical charge is further than my magical charge. But my magical charge does more damage, so... And it's magic, like you teleport. Compared to, me running on the ground 70 feet.
Which is scarier? A giant skeleton charging at you extremely fast with their weapon drawn, or a giant skeleton magically appearing directly in front of you with their weapon drawn? I'm not sure which is scarier.
I like to teleport behind people, though, so to give, flanking.
Both pretty terrifying.
And I feel like that's
Fair,
more
fair.
frightening, to just have a fucking giant skeleton with a big-ass greatsword teleport behind you and just hit you. And deal force damage on top of it. Okay, but still. 7 charge is still good. 70 feet. Who doesn't want to charge 70 feet?
I just keep looking at replenishment of war.
Yeah, I was
such a good
reading over it
fucking
again,
feat.
and it's any strike, which would include attacks of opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's multiple attacks per round. It's anytime I fucking hit...
That's
fucking
insane.
Spencer could give me an attack of opportunity, and I could hit somebody and get temp HP if I needed it. And like later on when
It doesn't stack.
but later on when I'm planning on getting there's a feat later on that I can share it and give it to other people within 10 feet of me. Just giving temp HP to everybody.
No shit.
On attacks of opportunity,
Nice,
on
man.
fucking every strike I do, just here's temp HP, there's temp HP, I'll heal you later. Like, I'm a cleric.
Jeez.
Well, and if you can do that like over and over again, then every round, you're basically healing someone by giving them just
Yeah.
temp HP.
A buffer.
Crazy.
Yeah. And even if somebody's at full hit points, they're still
Yeah.
benefiting.
To
Obviously.
be able to kind of heal somebody while attacking, that's very cool.
Fuck, that's cool. Well, that's Arius's level 10. What about Kix?
Hi, I'm Kix. I got some HP because I leveled. That's about
Are
it.
you over 100 yet?
Nah.
I am finally 108.
You're at 108. Dude, me and Luke can have 50 more HP than you.
Yeah, dude, I'm scarily scooshy.
You're at 2/3 of our HP.
Back off, man. I'm a little. I read people's palms. But anyways, the class feat I took was Strain Mind. When I'm out of focus points, I can make my nose bleed and get a focus point back.
Oh.
It's not exactly make my nose bleed, but that's what I'm gonna say.
Once an hour. That's pretty nice.
For my archetype feat, I took nothing for reasons. And then for my skill feat, I took Disturbing Knowledge, which is essentially Intimidate for nerds.
Disturbing knowledge is intimidate for nerds? What?
Yeah, you can read it. It's all about frightening stories that I've read about in books, and I can frighten people. If I critically succeed, they're confused for a round and frightened.
What? How come I've never seen this before?
I'd tell them scary stories.
Target becomes confused for a round and frightened one on a critical success. Jeez. Although at a crit failure, you can frighten yourself.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
true. The nerds intimidate.
What level is your occultism at?
Like how many points? Oh, it's master. I'm not legendary yet.
Well, yeah, I don't think we can beat it.
Yeah.
It's not till
No.
15.
Yeah.
God, being able to do any enemy within 30 feet when you're a legendary? Any number of enemies within 30 feet if you're legendary. Jeez.
And it works even against those who don't understand your language.
That's pretty cool.
Spooky stories.
Spooky stories.
That's why I just tell you some ghost stories and...
Let's talk about Shara. And yours is a little more complicated because we have some adjustments happening to your build after what just happened. So go ahead and tell us about those.
Yeah, the big thing is it kind of rewrites my level 8. So level 8, I had gotten Bastion and back-to-back, and those are now gone. In their place, I took Ghoul Dedication, which is exactly what it is. It gives me low light vision, gains consumed flesh, gained my undead hunger. Kix is in even more dire situation as in he was before.
I'm gonna get eaten.
especially since I wake up super hungry. And then for my free archetype feat that I think had back-to-back, I took Grave Strength instead, which gives me the advanced undead benefits, which gives me dark vision, greater disease and poison protection, and paralysis and sleep protection. And then on top of that, also, when I'm satiated, I get a plus 5-foot speed bonus. So that's my rewrite of 8. And then with level 10, I used the archetype feat to pick up Bastion Dedication again, but also Glutton for Flesh, because I had to get 2 Ghoul dedications before I could pick up Bastion Dedication again. So I took up Glutton for Flesh, which is a Ghoul feat, which if I consume flesh while I'm satiated, I stay fully satiated for 3 hours instead of 1 hour. Well, I become fully satiated for 3 hours and then satiated for 1 hour after that. And while I'm fully satiated, because I have Grave Strength, instead of a 5-foot speed bonus, I have a 10-foot speed bonus.
Oh.
And so fully satiated is just using consumed flesh twice, basically.
Huh. All right.
We're really getting to the point where as a party, we use every part of the human. You know, we got someone that eats the flesh, someone that drinks the blood, I keep the bones, like... Kicks fucks with the mind, like...
We really do, I suppose, yeah. Lucan can drain the blood.
We're so conservationist.
Yeah, Lucan can drain all the blood, then I'll eat all the flesh, and then you've got the bones left over.
After Kix fucks with their mind.
I don't want to be part of this.
You're already part of it. You don't
So that's basically my level 10. For my skill feat, I took Quick Climb.
All right.
Because I'm running out of feats that I can take that make sense. Skill feats.
Skill feats, yeah, it kind of gets like that with skill feats sometimes.
Like my own, because champions don't, I don't have a high intelligence, I don't have very many skills, so
right.
I don't have the plethora of options that some people have. Like athletics, I'm good at athletics, so I take athletic skill feats. And that's what we do.
So Shara is now has the Ghoul dedication, but Shara's aghast. And there are some benefits that Shara is going to get from me, little homebrew, mostly flavor. Shara, because of who you are, what your reputation is, and the type of living, the revenant that you were, you will be able to hide your ghoulish features, your tongue, your teeth. You still keep the pallid skin, because that's exactly what you have before the transformation. However, when you go into your Dread Martial stance, all of your ghoulish features become prominent and heavily very apparent.
Probably just as terrifying or more terrifying than the Revenant.
This time the teeth are sharp.
Yeah, with becoming a ghoul, I gained both a bite attack and a claw attack. So I might need to get some hand wraps also.
Well, there are the sinners at level 10. So, you're up at the next dusk. Sherry, your pain is gone. Do you share the nature of your transformation? Do you have a conversation with your party? What do you do? Talk amongst yourselves.
So, do I just naturally retain my looks, or do I have to do something to retain?
Keep them under wraps.
Yeah.
That's actually up to you. I hadn't thought about it that far. What would you prefer?
I think it'd be more fun if it's if I had to do something in order like when I go into the Dread Martial stance, I just can't control it anymore.
So when you're not in the stance, it's you specifically controlling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way I can drop it and show that I'm a ghoul when I need to, or... And also I think it's kind of fun that I wake up and I'm a freaking ghoul.
Full on ghoul then, yeah. Full on ghoul then.
So, very obvious.
Very
obvious.
So we wake up from our camp, and the moment Lucan sees you, Shara, oh, darling, you're going to need some makeup for that.
I'm so hungry.
Oh, no. Is this what that Warren business was all about?
What are you talking about?
When you went to go see the ghasts, the ghouls under the tree?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I look down and I'm like, oh, shit. My tongue like wagging around.
Put that thing away, Shudder. Ah, my. All right, I guess we'll get used to this. Is Kix in danger?
Hopefully.
Usually.
You just hear Arya say that from the back corner.
Do we need to go back to the camp so you can find some flesh to gather up?
Consume flesh only works if it's been dead within the last hour.
Within the last hour. So I think I'm okay for now, but I'm going to need something at some point.
Does it have to be humanoid? Does like a squirrel work?
Shit, I
It
just
does
had it up.
just say
Small or larger creature.
All right, we'll keep our eye out for some wandering coyotes or some shit.
Yeah.
somebody could technically use the exploration activity subsist while you're traveling.
But also, yeah, when I see kicks, I just start to drool.
Do we need a muzzle for you now, Shara?
And she kind of shakes her head.
I'm just gonna consistently cast Forbidden Thought on you.
And you're forbidden from eating me.
It's a cantrip, so you
Just always casting that on you.
What's your exploration activity, Kix? Casting Forbidden Thought on Shara over and over.
But it's like, Shara doesn't even realize she's doing it until you say something, Lucan. Like, because I'm looking at kicks. And you're like, oh, I know that feeling.
I know that feeling, I know that look. I'm not as bad as a ghoul, but
Well, I mean, especially a ghoul that just, like...
a ghoul, the ghoul one is so ridiculous. Like,
Yeah, like how often you have to do it
it's too
in order
much
to be
deal with.
satiated.
Yeah.
But luckily, like, not being satiated doesn't technically cause me any issues.
You just have a constant hunger now. It's kind of
Yeah.
your companion.
It's my friend. It's my buddy.
Well, onward to the Medusas.
Medusas are living creatures, right?
Yeah.
See those wheels turning. So, as you've been traveling, I haven't really been talking about it much because other things have been going on. The frequency of the Stone Maidens and the increase in the number of dead trees in the area. Like, when you're in the main part of the Field of Maidens, it's mostly badlands. You're getting short, scrubby brush, maybe. Not anything resembling a full-size tree. It's starting to get there now. You're traveling there south, and you're finding that the trees that are here are all dead. It's not a seasonal thing. These trees are dead and rotting, and they look like they've been here forever. Well, about halfway through the evening, as you're traveling, you finally come across your destination. It's impossible to miss. If you were just stumbling along in the area, you would have spotted it immediately. In a drastic contrast to the badlands that were around you, you instead find yourself in the presence of a colorful and loudly colorful. It's to the point of being gaudy, almost. A house. The cheerful house and flower garden on the exterior of the house look extraordinarily out of place against the backdrop of dead trees and bare stone. The exterior walls are painted robin's egg blue and display an intricate fish scale pattern. The trim and high gables are painted white, and lacy curtains hang in the picture windows. A path of carefully laid flagstones leads up to the front door, which is slightly ajar.
Well, I guess approach the door and knock.
You approach the door and knock. The door swings open, and you find yourself inside this bright, foyer in front of you. But nobody's here.
This was the coordinates you were in your dream, correct?
Yes, it certainly seems to be a home. Look around. Is there any telltale signs that this belongs to a Medusa? A lack of mirrors, perhaps.
No.
Stone statues everywhere.
Lots of very realistic stone statues.
You don't see any stone
Snake
statues.
motifs.
There are no mirrors either. Nothing snake motif. It looks like the manor or the entry of a well-to-do family. As you kind of peek your head in, you see that there's brass hooks to the left and right of the doors for people to hang their coats. There is a small purple coat about the size of for a child's coat hanging there. There's also a three-legged stand for people to hang their hats.
Perception check. How long does it look like it's been since somebody's been here? Like, is there dust gathered? Do I smell recently cooked food?
No dust. It's actually very clean, as though it's upkept. There's been upkeep on it. You do hear, if you give me a perception check,
Not very good.
you hear the sounds of something coming from inside, but it's muffled.
I say hello. What was the Medusa's name again? Carenza.
When Lucan calls out, the door in front of you opens just a crack, and this head pops out.
Oh, fuck that.
Oh. Well, it looks like one of those, terrifying, ventriloquist dummies wearing a French maid's dress. But not like a sexy one.
Yeah, no, not a sexy one, no. It's about the size of a halfling. It's a porcelain doll with this big smile plastered onto its face. Its porcelain head is cracked in several places, but it opens the door and pops its head out for just a moment, and then its mouth opens, and disconcertedly, it speaks to you. Tea time. And then closes the door once more.
Well, sir, are we dealing with this or saying no?
I am not drinking any tea from that thing.
I think that's probably a wise decision.
Does it come back? Is it expecting us to follow it? I mean,
It doesn't. It popped its head out, announced that it was tea time, and then ducks its head right back in. Out of sight.
perhaps it's a servant of some sort?
Well, let's hope so. And I go in.
You walk into the house?
Yeah, Sundricker will shrink down to medium.
Okay.
And they'll go in ahead of me. Ops.
You walk in the house.
Yeah, I'll leave Perdition outside for sure.
What about Kix and Arius?
Let's see. I'm gonna go pick up the doll.
Also, when I say porcelain doll, it's the size of a halfling, so it's like 2-3 feet tall.
Oh, I'm not picking that thing up.
You were thinking like a
Creepy as
Nadja
fuck.
doll.
I thought it was buttons.
Nope.
So I just approach with everyone else.
The house is relatively quiet. Although as Sheriff Sundrinker Lucan stepped in, Arius, when you step in, give me a perception check.
All right. 37.
Arius, you hear a couple of sounds, but they're all coming from behind the door that's just in front of you, where the doll poked its head out from. You hear what sound like wooden chairs scraping against a wooden floor, and like faint shuffling, and then the clatter of tea, like china, fine china, a teacup and a saucer.
I simply continue on. I head towards the sounds.
Oh, did you guys want tea?
I mean, no.
Then why are you going towards the sounds of tea?
Well, I want to find Carenza. Carenza!
Does she like tea?
Didn't ask when last we spoke.
She didn't quite seem like the tea type of person, but only one way to find out.
Fucking tea drinkers. They never looked like they're going to be a tea drinker, and then they are. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. Just moving on.
So you're moving on. Cheryl opened the door.
Thank God.
Thank God. Sure, you open the door into a dining room. There's this dining table that's on top of an ornate rug, and this table is laden with sugary fruits, fine porcelain teacups, polished silverware. But by far, aside from the doll in the northeastern corner, standing over a tea cart, shakily pouring tea into cups, are two stone sisters tied to dining room chairs with their arms lashed to their sides, with cucumber sandwich triangles and cups of tea in front of them.
I love this. This is fantastic.
The doll finishes pouring the tea and walks it over to one of the stone sisters and shakily starts like putting it up to her lips, and the stone sister is struggling back and forth and knocks the tea out of the doll's hand. And the doll says, "Tut, tut, you must learn proper table manners," and returns to the cart and begins shakily pouring another cup of tea.
Well, this is quite amusing, I must say. Tea party? How wonderful. Where's Carenza? I say as I take a seat, not directly next to one of these stone sisters.
Arias takes a seat at the head of the table.
It's tea time. And she shakily pulls out a couple of more teacups, and as she's pulling out teacups, the pot, the kettle that's there, begins pouring tea into the cups that she's serving on their own.
Lovely, love that.
And afterwards, the cart rattles along the table, and then tea saucers float in front of each of you and set the tea on the table in front of you. And the doll is walking behind with cucumber sandwich triangles, setting them on small plates next to you in jerky motions.
This is adorable. Arias takes a teacup and pretends to drink it, but it just like goes down his like. He doesn't have insides or anything to keep the tea in. It just kind of splashes all over the place.
It soaks your cuirass from inside.
He puts it in his mouth hole, and then it just goes everywhere.
Mouthful.
Anytime that you like, when Arias does that and finishes, the doll comes back over and pours another cup for you, and then places it in front of you. It's tea time.
I keep drinking it. It's just tea everywhere at this point. It's all over. It's splashing off my bones. It's all over the table, the chair, the floor.
Sundrinker attempts to do the same as Arias, like wraps a little vine, a smaller little tendril around the tea and just pours it on themselves.
I see Shara and Kix have not taken seats around the table.
No, I'm sitting in the corner just watching.
No,
Join the fucking tea party.
Shara's looking at it like, this is not what I crave.
I want flesh!
But it's fun, Shetta. Come have fun. Look at these little cucumber sandwiches, and I nibble on one.
There's two things Zuriel loves: dead quick and tea. Come have some tea.
Are dead quick
I don't know.
dead?
I
Are
don't
dead quick?
Gonna make a religion check on that? I don't remember Zuriel
It's-
liking tea.
Zuriel doesn't.
I get a 32. Does Zuriel like tea?
Edicts. Kill all quick, drink all tea.
Drink all tea.
Writing that in now.
Shara's aware that that's not the case, but Arias seems to be on his own little kick here.
Arias just likes tea parties.
It's adorable.
But doesn't know why.
In the past life, Arias
The past life, yes.
loved
As a
tea.
knight of Ozim, just loved those tea parties.
After like 5 to 10 minutes of like really awkward, like the doll just serving and repeatedly pouring tea. Anytime that she tries to pour tea for one of the Stone sisters, just with an emotionless voice, you know, scolding them for not having table manners, and then goes back to pour more tea. At some point, though, the tea runs out. And the animated tea cart, when the doll goes back, lifts the pot up, pulls the lid off, and it just tips the pot kettle upside down, and a few drips come out, and then it clatters back to the cart. The doll turns back and says, "Tea time is over."
Yes, very well. Well, we must be meeting with your mistress. Where is the Medusa?
Corinza's playing with the prince and princess.
Excellent. Where might they be?
And the doll turns to look at the Stone Sisters, who have been struggling repeatedly against
I
the
thought they weren't
bindings.
moving. I thought they were just tied up, but just sat there like statues. Aw.
Oh, anytime the doll gets close is when they start struggling.
Oh, it was much funnier to me the other way. All right, fine.
They are mobile, right? That after the doll says that tea time is over, you hear fibers snap as the rope that is binding both of the Stone Sisters to the chair comes undone. They both turn toward the doll and leap at it.
No, the T-doll.
I mean, do we care?
Everybody roll for initiative.
Well, I guess we're saving the dolls at the tea party, all in the life of a hero, the villain. What other adorable things will we come across in this house? Find out next time as we continue Bloodlords. And until then, may you have many great adventures of your own.
It's your turn.